Alright, let's try this again. Sorry about that. I had gotten a phone call, and it was my insurance people, so I had to talk to them about that. This is a video response to Vince Venturella's topic of the week, 2018 releases, what we want to see and what we're hoping for and stuff like that. So, Vince talked about potentially if you're not a Games Workshop person or an Age of Sigmar person, what game you do play and what you'd want to see for that game. I am not in that category. I'm definitely a Games Workshop person, and I definitely am looking forward to a lot of things in 2018. So this may be strap yourself in, grab a paintbrush or a X-Acto blade and some models, because this may be a doozer, because a lot of times my videos happen to be that way. So turn it off now if you just don't care. Sorry guys, but I am going to ramble. 2018. So right now we're looking at the Nurgle stuff coming out, which is amazing. I'm a huge Nurgle fan, and yeah, I think that that satisfies that for sure. That might that's a dual kit also, or dual kits. You could do 40k and fantasy with those, which is great, or Age of Sigmar, excuse me. So very happy about that. Also, we've got the Malign Portent stuff coming out. Look at my little Superman curl in my hair. That's cute. Malign Portent's coming out, which is going to be a lot of undead stuff or semi-dead stuff. I don't know what, there's a lot of rumors about that, which is also awesome because the Death Faction hasn't seen anything really yet. So, I'll probably be spending money there. I'll be spending tons of money on the Nurgle stuff. But in terms of other things, I guess since we're talking about Age of Sigmar, we'll continue doing that first. I'm a Beastman player, is my go-to army, so I would love to see some Beastman stuff. And I don't think that's going to happen, but I could be wrong. I'm hoping we do get Pestigors in the Nurgle release for the Age of Sigmar book. They do mention Pestigors in the Blight War rulebook, page 6, paragraph 2. Column 2, last paragraph, Pestigors are mentioned. Boom! So I am excited about that. When I saw that, I was super happy. And yeah, so Pestigors, I would love to see those at least for 2018. But if you want more, Beastmen would be amazing, because Beastmen need love. So that's it for me for Age of Sigmar. I think I'm going to spend enough money with Nurgle and the Death stuff that I'm not really needing anything more. Obviously, the General's Handbook will come out for 2018. Maybe what else I'm looking up there? Oh, what would be kind of neat too is if they did a more of the army books. Remember the 4 compendiums, the good guys, bad guys, destruction and death, whatever the other 2 are, chaos and order. Maybe update those would be kind of cool. I would buy them. I don't know if other people would, because they're sort of, I guess those are just your starter army books to get you in the game and get you playing with whatever you have. But it would be nice to see those, come back, or like a compendium for those where it's all of them and it's just the new stuff, in the books. That would be kind of neat, because then you wouldn't need to buy all the books. You could just buy that one, almost like a General's Handbook, but it's for all the armies, which would be kind of neat, kind of like the index books that they released for 40k when they redid the game initially. My hair is wild right now. So that would be cool, because those indexes it was the full spectrum from Tau to Tyranids to Genestealer cults to orcs. I mean, all in one book. So maybe even do that, break it up where you have chaos and destruction and order and death or something. But that's really minuscule in terms of what I want. I don't really care about that. I would like to see another Silver Tower game. I'm sorry, Warhammer Quest game. Silver Tower had some great models in it, but didn't really care for the boards. Shadows over Hammerhall, the second one, also had great models. They were all pretty much re-releases of kits and things, but it was a good kit, and I liked it more than Silver Tower because it had more actual kind of traditional dungeony tiles. Still a little out there for me in terms of a dungeon crawl. I talked about this in another video, I think, during a ramble, so don't search for me rambling about dungeon crawl because it's just lost in one of my videos. But I would like to see just a more of a straight up dungeon crawly Warhammer Quest. Maybe even bring back Warhammer Quest, the original one, in terms of an updated look, but have those tiles, have the archways, just to satisfy the old fantasy type players. And you know, you'd have all the newer models do it on rounds to piss off the fantasy players. So you can release a game that's based in fantasy with rounds. That would be kind of hilarious. But you know, you could do minotaurs and that, and you know, bat swarms and all those things. But I don't know, that's just pipe dreamy stuff for me. That's really not, like I said, this video is going to go for a while. So Age of Sigmar, let's talk about Shadespire. Boom, right here. Very excited. I know that there's going to be the Fire Slayers and the Rats, Skaven guys coming out. So I'll be picking those up. And, you know, I don't know what else. You know, another set of tiles would be nice. You know, maybe a different section of Shadespire with extra dice. So maybe an expansion pack that has, I'm sorry, not extra dice, but an expansion pack that has new tiles. Maybe some 3D terrain. Because there are some pieces on those the current board that has it's shadowed out. It's like 3 hexes, and then one of them's 1 hex. So maybe the expansion pack would have a 3 hex piece of terrain. I doubt they do that though, now that I think about it. But just because then it's single use, you know. The models you can use in both games, but hex terrain is only going to be usable for that, and that's kind of spending a lot of money to do just hexes for Shadespire, so maybe they wouldn't. But at least do boards and new universal cards, and maybe even some faction cards. So like in the set you buy, it's going to have a couple of new Orc cards, a couple of new Death cards, a couple of new Stormcast guys, and a couple new Bloodbound guys. You know, that'd be kind of neat, like a little expansion pack, $30 or something like that. Just to change it up, you know, have more flexibility with the way you play the game, and then you could do more deck building. That would be kind of cool. I'm gonna go with the biggest thing right now for me. So 2018, we saw at the end of 2016. The Genestealer cult stuff came out, and I know I always talk about Genestealer cults because that's what I was, a person who was a huge Genestealer cult player in the 90s and started with Space Hulk. But I would love to see the Space Hulk expansions come back, and I think that that would be phenomenal. And I've also talked about this in another video during probably a ramble. But if I could see the two, at least Genestealer, which was one of the 2 expansions. The 2 expansions were Genestealer and Deathwing. At least Genestealer. I just want my triple wide tiles. I really, really... You don't even need to put miniatures in the box. You don't even have the rules in the box. Just make triple wide Space Hulk tiles for the new version of Space Hulk where it's got that little bit of an embossed... Yeah, that would just... Yeah, I want that. I want my Genestealer expansion. You've already got the hybrid models now. You know, you've already got tons of different Terminator plastic models. You know, you could probably even do Primaris Marines in Space Hulk. Why not, right? You know, they've got 2 wounds now or something. I've never looked at their rules, but I think they do. Yeah, I don't care about any of that. I just want my 3 wide, triple wide hallways for my new Space Hulk games, because I like playing Space Hulk, but more importantly, I like playing Genestealer because the triple wide hallways just allow you so much more flexibility. and options in the game, and I want that, and that's what I want. So Vince, that's what I want more than anything from Games Workshop is the expansion to Space Hulk. I'm probably the only guy on the planet who wants this, but at least the only guy on the planet who's wishing that if he could have one thing in 2018, it would be that. I'm sure people are all like, bring back the elves, da-da-da-da-da, something about 40K. Nope. Space Hulk expansion, Gene Stealer. That's what I want. So that's that. I mean, we could talk about 40K, but 40K is just kind of 40K. I don't know. I love it. I love the look of it, the style of it. But once I got my Gene Stealer cults, I became one of those docile people who just don't need to complain because he has everything now. I've just that was my dream come true. So you just give me a new rule book whenever. I don't even care about that. I'll just play with whatever's in the damn thing. I mean, I play my Gene Stealer cults with that little black and white 2-page army list that came in the back of the second edition Warhammer game forever before the second ed Tyranid Codex came out, which wasn't until like 95, I think. 94, maybe? Yeah, so I was rolling for years with that black and white. The Mole Mortar. The Mole Mortar was badass. But anyway. So, yeah, I can play your game with crappy rules. I don't care. I just wanted my models, and now I got my models, which makes me very happy. It would be cool to see the Gene Stealer Patriarch on a throne. But even that, I don't care. I've got so much awesome Gene Stealer cult stuff now. More than I could have ever imagined. We've got weapon options. We have those crazy looking aberrant guys, aberrants, whatever they're called. We got our own little funky trucks. Yeah, and then, you know, as long as I got access to Imperial Guard armory, I'm good. So I don't really need to see anything in 40K. It's gonna be it's a monster anyway. It's their moneymaker, so they're gonna just do fine without anybody wishing for anything from them. So Shadespire, I want to see some expansion pack with new boards, new cards. That would be awesome. And, you know, wishful thinking, some terrain. Age of Sigmar, Beastmen, 2018. Let's do that. At the bare minimum, because I know that's a hopeful dream, I'd like to see the Pestigors. I want to see my Pestigors, because that would be rad. So hopefully, if anything, we get Pestigors in the new Nurgle book, because I can add those into my Beastmen army, which would be cool. So that's what I want for Age of Sigmar, is Beastmen. And Shadespire is my expansion. And my top #1 thing of all is the Gene Stealer expansion for Space Hulk. And I can't think... Oh, Necromunda's coming out. We got, I think, 4 new gangs that are mentioned. Not new, they're old, but they're going to redo 4 gangs, which is cool. I mean, I'm excited about Necromunda, and I'm going to be playing Necromunda, but I'm not like... I know that's going to be here to stay now, you know? So it's not something I'm just jumping all over. And, I don't know. I just... That's something that's minor to me, you know? And then I can't think of it. I mean, Mordheim. We could talk about Mordheim, but I don't know. I mean, I can't say I don't know, because they released Necromunda, so that came back. But Necromunda also is part of their 40K range, you know? I mean, a lot of that stuff you could use for so many other things. Mordheim's a bit, you know? And I think that Shadespire... Well, no, Shadespire is nothing like Mordheim, but I think when I first heard about Shadespire, I thought it was going to be the new Mordheim. Kind of like the Warhammer Quest when they were mentioned that. I was like, sweet, they're bringing it back, but then they made it all Age of Sigmar-y, which is fine. Or it actually they made it Zinchi is what they did. They didn't really make it. I mean, it's Age of Sigmar models, but it was very Zinchi. And the boards. I just can't get over how... Yeah, those boards are just loud. They're noisy. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of different artistic expressionism going on. Yeah, it's too much for me. I just want some rocks with some slime on it, and some torches on the wall, and that's it. Some classic boring dungeons. But yeah, so I guess that's it. My top thing is the Space Hulk. It's not going to happen. I know it's not, but I don't care. But I'm excited for the beginning of this year because I'm getting my Nurgle stuff, and I really don't want to spend all that money on 3 Great Unclean Ones, but I will be spending my money on 3 Great Unclean Ones because all of those models are sick, and I don't particularly like the head on one of them, the dude with the bell. Not a big fan of his head. I'll probably end up using the other dude's head, but yeah, that's gonna be a lot of money. So that, and then yeah, it's just so much cool stuff. And then yeah, that's about it. So thanks for listening, and I'm gonna close this thing out before I start thinking about something else to ramble about, because I'm looking around my room to go, oh yeah, I want to do that too. But yeah. Oh, we should bring back Dreadfleet.